All right, welcome back to another episode of the Black Bullion Show for goldandsilvertoday.com. Check that website out, everybody. Okay, so yesterday was a huge day, and the funny thing was, I kind of missed how big of a day it was for the markets, because while I do glance at the major US indices, I try to focus more so on what's going on specifically with gold and silver prices. But from reports I heard yesterday, it was one of the worst days for the markets since June of this year. Now, guys, remember how I said that we really should be paying attention to the overall market, as it will eventually ricochet and hit us, because gold and silver prices have also been elevated by stimulus hopes as well as the overall market. Now, let's get a read on how the bond market has been reacting and see how traders are feeling a day after this, market destruction. So here we have the pretty much last 5 trading days, or actually let me just flip it over to the last 5 trading days of the US 10-year Treasury note. This is the last trading day. As you can see, it's been heading down. We are currently at 0.78% in the US Treasury note yield, which is pretty low, especially given the fact that, just over the last 5 trading days, we were at, I think the height, we were at close to 0.875, as you can see here on this chart. So we've been trending down since Friday, and in Monday, we definitely started to trend down, and we're continuing that today. Now, as far as the investor sentiment is concerned, obviously it's rocky and things look a little bit fearful on that end. But today we just didn't get investor sentiment from the US 10-year Treasury note moving to the downside, but we also got consumer confidence for October as well. So here, pretty much the expectation was that consumer confidence would actually get better in the month of October. In September, we were at 101.3, and it's expected that we move up modestly to 101.5, but instead we dropped to 100.9. Now, what's interesting to note was that the survey for the Consumer Confidence Index was actually conducted before, this huge uptick in what we call here the Ronies occurred. Now, that pretty much suggests that we could have maybe even a worse reading in November once that gets factored in and the survey's done again at a later date. Now, some of that uncertainty did help us a bit when it came to gold and silver prices today, but only like a little bit around 10 a.m., just like a very little bit. The main driver behind gold and silver's moves in the pre-market came from the DXY here. And as gold and silver went down around 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time or so, the DXY actually rose around that time. But overall, the DXY crossed above the 93 level of resistance, and then it came right back down to the high 92s, helping to give gold and silver a bit of a boost thereafter. Especially now. Actually, let me go back to gold and silver here, and as you can see, it did give us a boost there. Now, try to guess what the main driver was for the fluctuations behind the DXY today. We're going to give you like a couple seconds. Now, if you happen to guess the pound, then you were correct. So take a look at the pound here. I'm just trying to get this thing out the way, but the pound looks almost exactly like the DXY, just inverted. And of course, this was charted in UTC, which is about 4 hours ahead of Eastern Standard Time. So the timing may be a little bit off compared to the chart that I showed you for the DXY, but it looks almost exactly like the DXY, just inverted. So the pound definitely had a an impact on the DXY, but why exactly did it pick up steam towards the end of the day here? Well, if you take a look at our handy dandy pound to euro sentiment indicator, which is pretty much what this exchange has become in recent months, the pound to the euro pair. Now, if you take a look at them, the ball is pretty much in the court of the pound right now. The favor is in the court of the pound. One of the main reasons for this is that France recently came out saying that they will not compromise on EU fishing fleets being able to access UK waters. So this again is causing a little bit of an impasse with the Brexit trade negotiation talks. Very similar to the impasse that we're seeing over here stateside when it comes to the stimulus talks, except it seems like the stimulus talks are actually something that's just, trying to kick this can down the road, before pretty much until the election. Now, going back to gold and silver prices, scrolling down here, we have the moving averages. And, pretty much with all the news impacting currencies and metals, it's helping essentially just kind of on the periphery to give or to bring down the 50-day moving average here for gold just over time. Not significantly, but as far as how it's treating the DXY and how the DXY impacts gold and silver prices, you're starting to see some of this movement here impacting the 50-day moving average moving down 1919, 32. Also here, the 100-day, we're at 1884. So 1884, it's moving up a little bit, but I mean, I can't believe it. We're below the 20s here now with gold's moving average in the 50-day. So that's pretty interesting to note, given the fact that currently right now we're at 1909. So we're not too far away from that key resistance. And if you take a look at silver right now, silver has, its 50 days moved down to 25.43. And, kind of similar pattern and behavior to gold, but, gold just strikes me more, just given the fact that how tight that moving average is with the 100-day. Now, the averages may not meet one another before the election actually happens, but if this momentum pretty much keeps up, it will pretty much only be a matter of time before we see either after these guys meet, a breakout or a breakdown to the south. So that's just something to consider when we're taking a look at these moving averages and how they're playing out day by day. They're just getting tighter and tighter. So guys, let me know what you think about gold's moves today, the overall markets, global economy in the comment section below. Thanks again for watching. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe if you're new. It's Black Bullion for goldandsilvertoday.com.